Dearest gentle reader, it's been a sad week for us all, especially since the death of Alex Ikubo was announced. I didn't know him personally, but I knew him as an actor. I saw the movie Afumefuna. May his soul and the souls of all the faithful departed, through the mercy of God, rest in peace. Amen. I also pray that God comforts all families who are currently in mourning. May they be granted the fortitude to bear irreparable loss. Death is hard, death is painful. On the subject of death, today we'll be talking about the top 5 regrets of the dying, written by Bronnie Ware. After too many years of unfulfilling work, Bronnie Ware began searching for a job with meaning. Despite having no formal qualifications or experience, she found herself working in palliative care. During the time she spent tending to the needs of those who were dying, Bronnie's life was transformed. Later, she wrote a blog post about the most common regrets that the people she had cared for had expressed to her. The post, also called the Top 5 Regrets of the Dying, has been read millions of times all over the world since it was first published. By applying the lessons of those nearing their deaths to her own life, Bronnie developed an understanding that it is possible for everyone, if they make conscious choices, to die with peace of mind. Bronnie's delightful memoir is a courageous, life-changing book that will leave you feeling more compassionate and inspired to live the life you are truly here to live. From the first chapter, from the tropics to the snow. I can't find my teeth. I can't find my teeth. The familiar call flowed into the room as I attempted to have my scheduled afternoon off. Placing the book I was reading on the bed, I wandered out into the living area. As expected, Agnes was standing there, looking both confused and innocent, smiling her gummy grin. We both burst out laughing. The joke should have worn thin by now, as the misplacement of her teeth happened to at least every few days, but it never did. I'm sure you do this just to get me back out here with you, I laughed as I began today's search in now familiar places. Outside, snow continued to fall, enhancing the coziness and warmth of the cottage. Shaking her head, Agnes was adamant. Not at all, darling. I took them out before my nap, but when I awoke, I couldn't find them anywhere. Other than her memory loss, she was as bright as a button. Agnes and I came to be living together 4 months earlier when I had responded to an advertisement for a living companion. As an Australian in England, I had been doing a living job in a pub to keep a roof over my head. It had been fun, and some lovely friendships were made with other staff and the locals. Bar skills were definitely handy and had enabled me to start work immediately on arrival in the country. So for that, I was grateful. But it came time for a change. Basically, this first chapter tells us how she tried other jobs until she found palliative care. I would say that if you do not have a vocation for palliative care, don't go into it. It's more than a job. You know, you're tending the helpless, you're tending the fragile, you're tending elderly people that are probably angry that they are now old and can no longer do things for themselves as they used to. So it takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of tenderness, it takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of kindness to be able to do that job. I don't know that I can do it, I don't know. But apparently, Bronnie had a heart for it. And she did well. I mean, for her to have written this book, to share all, they shared with her, she really did great. Anyway, so The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying is a reflective memoir based on the author's time caring for people near the end of their lives. As she listened to their life stories, she noticed the same regrets over and over again. The top 5 regrets of the dying center on living authentically, balancing work, expressing emotions, nurturing friendships, and choosing happiness. The 5 biggest regrets people shared. I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. This was especially among men. They realized work had stolen time from family, joy and simple living. I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. People often kept emotions bottled up to avoid conflict, but later regretted not speaking honestly. I wish I'd stayed in touch with my friends. Old friendships were deeply missed, especially near the end of life. I wish I'd let myself be happier. Many realized happiness wasn't something that just happens, it often comes from choices, mindset, and courage. The book is really about living intentionally before regret catches up, choosing authenticity, relationships, love, and inner peace over pressure, status, or people pleasing. If your life ended soon, are you living your life or are you just managing it? Do you think about death? Do you even wonder at the kind of death you will die? Some people say terminal illness is a bad way to die. And I'm like, really? I don't think so. Terminal illness gives you time. Doctor tells you you have 2 months to live. You set your record straight. You build fences, you make amends, you repair relationships, you write your will, you do everything, you make conscious effort, you settle with your God, you confess your sins, you receive the sacraments, you do what is needed to prepare you for the afterlife. It's For me, it's well, when you think about it, it's yes, it's a heavy cross to bear, it's a heavy cross to carry, I agree. But when you compare it to just being hit on the road, for instance, or just having a sudden heart attack and you're gone, you know? So these are all things that we should think about often as we navigate our lives. Now, beyond the top five regrets, here are some deeper themes that appeal to me. The danger of living on autopilot. A lot of the dying patients didn't just regret specific choices, they regretted drifting through life without consciously choosing who they wanted to become. Freedom often requires discomfort. Bronnie Ware shows that being true to yourself can cost you approval, comfort, or security. Many people stayed in safe lives that didn't really fit them. Emotional honesty is a form of courage. This book is not only about expressing feelings, it's also about how unspoken pain, resentment, pride, or fear can quietly shape an entire life. Success can be a trap. A subtle theme is that society often praises busyness, achievements, money, and status, but many people at the end of life didn't talk about promotions or possessions or achievements. No. They talked about connection, they talked about meaning, they talked about peace, they talked about love. Relationships need maintenance. Friendships, family bonds, and even self respect don't stay strong automatically. The book quietly shows that neglect, not always conflict, is what often breaks relationships. Happiness is partly a choice. Many patients realized a little too late that they had treated happiness like a reward for some day. The book suggests joy often comes from everyday choices, not perfect circumstances. So you can find your joy even while you're grieving. You can be thankful for the love your loved one shared. You can be thankful for the time you had with that person. Although painful, we're not minimizing your grief, we're not minimizing your pain, but I'm saying you can look for, even in that grief, even in those tears, you can find reasons to be thankful, to be joyful, so that the grief doesn't drag you down. It doesn't drag you into a rabbit hole. Fear shapes more lives than people admit. Fear of judgment, failure, rejection, or change kept many people from becoming who they really were. That fear became one of the roots of regret. I've seen some debate on social media about how Alex chose to die away from the public eye. Some people were hurt that he kept his illness away from them. But would you blame him after what was done to him? So people learn from their mistakes, people learn from experiences, and then they decide what is best for them. And honestly, if we respect those people, if we love those people, we'll respect their choices. Death can clarify life. One of the strongest subtle themes is that facing death often strips away ego, image, competition, and noise and reveals what actually matters. Honestly, while the book is about dying, it is also about how a lot of people realize what matters a little later than they wanted. How can any of us know what another is here to learn? The map for my life is different from the map for yours. We will all die, but this work was reminding me we all have a choice about how to live in the meantime, too. So, yes, death is a certainty for all of us that are, nobody's getting out of here alive. So when we have that at the back of our mind, it helps us to live more intentionally, to love more deeply, to say how we speak up, say what you feel, share your experiences, be there for the people you love. Try to be there for the people you love. Before you know it, life is gone. Let me just share this that some of the parts I highlighted when reading it. There's a fine line between compassion and a victim mentality. Compassion, though, is a healing force and comes from a place of kindness towards yourself. Playing the victim is a toxic waste of time. It not only repels other people, it also robs the victim of ever knowing true happiness. No one owes us anything, she continued. We only owe it to ourselves to get off our backsides, count our blessings, and face our challenges. When you live from that perspective, the gifts pour forth. I love this woman. She continued speaking about how hard many people's lives are, how many folks are given such enormous challenges, yet they still manage to soldier on and find happiness in little things along the way. Yet others complain nonstop about their lives when they have no idea how good they really have it compared to others. There's this song we sang in drama club then. Nkọwarụ gị akụkọ ụwa mụ, ebere m emewere gị. If I tell you the story of my life, you will start pitying me. That's literally literal translation. So you think you have it all bad until you hear the next person's story. So really, it is just for you to find joy wherever you are. Find happiness wherever you are. Life is difficult. It's not easy. Even for those that you think have it all together. Everybody is just figuring it out one day at a time. Nobody knows it all. So I may look all put together. I may look like I know what I'm doing, but when you come close, you see that okay, she really doesn't know it all. She's just figuring it one step at a time. Motherhood, wifehood, friendshiphood, fatherhood. We're all figuring it one step at a time. So the top 5 regrets of the dying, it will make you reflect, it will make you meditate, it will make you think about what really matters. And then you realize that most people at their deathbeds, it wasn't their achievements. No. In the end, is love. Love, really. Did I love myself enough? Did I love other people? Was I true to myself? Will you be reading this book? Share with me in the comment section. If you have read it, what do you think of it? Thanks for watching. Bye and see you next time.